Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for clicking this podcast. Just want to say a couple of things to you before I let the music go and we begin. There's no ads, but I just want to do a little bit of an introduction. Today we're going to be doing, it's basically a personality test with a Harry Potter theme of what house you would be put in. It's actually a really great episode. It's actually a lot of fun, a little bit different from the, I say more serious, but the more serious conversations that we have. A couple of big shout outs. Well, one big shout out is to Lagos, Nigeria, which I have to be honest, I don't look at the analytics of this podcast very much. But when I last did, I was a bit surprised to see that we have one listener coming from Nigeria. So big shout out to you. Hope that you continue to listen. That's a special one for you. The actual test is the test that I made and produced myself. So, you can take that how you want to take it. I've put it in the show notes. So if you decide that you want to do it as well, maybe afterwards or whatever, and see what house you'd be put in, it's in the show notes. You can write it out yourself, the answers to it, and just see where you end up. It's a lot of fun. Hope you enjoy it today. Thanks very much. Hello everybody, this is Drive Me to Your Leader with Mr. Red, and in this podcast we hope to bring to you discussion, argument, and maybe just some fun on the way through. Today we are back with Elvie.
Hey.
And we're going to be doing, I don't know what they call this, the title of it.
The Houses of Hogwarts.
Basically it's what the Sorting Hat would choose for you. But he does it in like a few seconds or whatever it is. Inside of his own head.
Yeah.
But we're going to be fleshing out on the pages today about what you're going to be.
Pottermore, eat your heart out.
Yeah. Do you want to tell them about the official test that I didn't know about?
There is an official test on the Wide Wisdom World or something. You have to make an account in that. Mr. Red did not know about this. But he has made his own very in-depth version of it.
Do you know what it is? It's a complicated moral test that I've made. There's some questions where there are no good answers.
Would you kill a baby and feed it?
I
your
didn't
cat?
do that question, but there's something. There's not that.
Oh, sorry, I'm already
and
getting us cancelled.
But the thing is, even if you aren't a fan of Harry Potter or that sort of world, I think it'd be interesting for everyone because it's one of those. I think personality tests are interesting.
What,
because
like the Myers-Briggs?
Yeah. But that's a bit more in depth, I guess, isn't it? Mm. Now I'm wishing we just did that.
I'm a rare one.
Oh, really?
I'm a special snowflake.
What are you on that?
Can't remember what it was.
Which one is that? Because there's two, isn't there? There's one where it's got the symbols, and there's the other one as well.
It's like the letters. I think it's like an INFP or something like that. It was like
that's introvert.
Something like empathy and stuff like that.
I think they call it, mine was like the commander personality, where I just like to organise people and work out what they do. I don't know how true that is, to be fair, but
me and Chris got the same results, my friend Chris, and I was like, yeah.
I have to look that up. I think maybe we'll do that. I'm not prepared for that now, but maybe we'll do that next time. Either way, this is going to be fun. It's basically like a personality test with a theme. For people that don't know, should we just explain the four houses? So we might disagree a little bit here about which houses are what.
I'll let you start.
Do you know what? You go ahead.
No, you start. You start. Go on.
I just want to say before we go on as well, I watched the movies obviously years ago, and I've watched them on repeat sometimes. But I've been reading through the books lately, actually, a lot of it's been the audio book with Stephen Fry. He's really good at reading, actually. Like,
I can see that.
no, yeah, he's really good, like voices and things like that. But I've got to the 5th book, and I'm maybe not quite halfway, just under halfway through it.
Yeah.
Because it's the longest book, and it just goes on and on. There's so much.
Does.
The 5th book is just like the Order of the Phoenix, just goes on and on and on. But it's really good. So I've not read the last 2 yet. So, and I know you've read quite a few of them as well, haven't you?
I've read all of them.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So you've got the advantage on me here.
And the How to Train Your Fantastic Beasts books.
I watched the movie, and I have to say the first one, I wasn't that, it was okay.
It was okay. I feel like we need a lot more like standalone stuff and set in the world.
I think the problem with it was, and I don't want to hate on it because there was bits in it I really liked, it was just a bit too Americanized, a bit too Hollywood.
Yeah.
Whereas I felt with the Harry Potter movies, what gave it that charm was it was a big movie and lots of people watched it from around the world, but it was actually like pretty subtle British actors in mostly in Scotland, isn't it? I think a lot of the scenes are. So it felt like it had its own sort of feel to it. Whereas in this one, they just go, to New York, everything gets blown up at the end. It's a bit like, I feel like I'm watching a weird superhero movie in a way. It just didn't work.
To me, my problem was adding the whole Grindelwald plot in. That could have been its own movie series. I was more interested in the plot of Newt getting all these animals.
Yeah, I suppose because they sort of just crammed it in towards the end, didn't they?
Yeah, it's like so many different plots all combined together. I was like, no, it should have been a one-off movie just about Newt and his plight with the animals.
I agree with that, yeah.
That would have been a good movie.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I liked it. Like, I know what you're saying. They sort of crammed him in sort of at the end when that big reveal. And I haven't seen the movies after that. I think is there one or two?
I haven't seen it, but
I've
heard what happens, and I'm glad I didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And the whole thing with Dumbledore who comes in when he's younger.
Jude Law. I can't see anyone other than Jude Law. I can't. It's like, you're not Dumbledore, you're Jude Law.
Do you know, there's that meme, isn't there, that I've seen of him, and he's got his suave sort of waistcoat on, and then there's like 10 years later at Hogwarts, and there's just like this old man with a beard. It's like, that happened in 10 years.
Also, he's gone from wearing like really classy suits to just free falling in a robe.
Pajama time. I'm the headmaster now.
To be fair, I can relate.
Yes, if anyone didn't know, you have appeared at least 2 times on the show in pajamas.
I love.
Or was it every time?
Every time.
I think it's every time.
It's my trademark.
All right. Well, do you know what? Before we actually move on to that, I don't want to change the subject too much, but I want to bring us back a little bit to Ghosts. Because I've been thinking about this a little while.
God.
Wait, just briefly. Because the bit I was unhappy about is I've done a few episodes now, and most of my theme, I think, has been not to be certain about everything and be open-minded.
Yeah.
But then I remember in that first episode, I was like, but I can definitely say with certainty that ghosts can't exist. I think that's how I ended it, right?
Mm.
But I want to back this up a little bit because I've thought about it. Now, I've got here an electromagnetic spectrum, right? So on this spectrum, I want you to tell me. No, hang on a minute. Wait. I don't want you to think this is a trap because I haven't told you beforehand. But this won't be a definitive answer because I've just thrown this on you. But I'm just interested. I asked my wife earlier and she looked at me like I was crazy and didn't really... She sort of just gave a sort of half answer to be social, but I don't think she really cared too much. But visible light is here in the middle, right? And you guys can't see this. So I'll explain. The spectrum is this. So you've got radio waves. They're the longest waves that you can get. After that, microwaves. And it gets shorter and shorter as the wave goes along. Then you've got infrared waves. And after that, you've got visible light, what your eye can see.
Mm-hmm.
Under that, and I say under meaning it's getting shorter, you've got ultraviolet, then X-rays, then gamma rays. So if you can see ghosts at visible light as, in orb sort of realm, okay, you would have to put them in visible light, right? But you're saying most of the time you can't actually see them. So that would mean they would have to be in either infrared, which is near visible, or ultraviolet, which is near visible. But if it's ultraviolet, you can put an ultraviolet light up and it doesn't reveal ghosts.
That feels ghosts of sins committed.
But if we use infrared, surely we could like, I don't know, like irritate them with lasers and stuff, right?
Well, who's to say we're not irritating them with lasers?
Well,
They can't say anything.
but
They're like, God damn, fucking
but
damn it.
they've never once admitted it, is what I'm saying. They've never said, you know what, can you stop pointing that remote control at me? That's really irritating.
Do you know what?
So
after our ghost discussions, I went and got a Ouija board upstairs. So I bring it down and see if they say yeah or no.
I don't think the thing is, I'm trying to put it down in actual scientific fact. You can't just bring a Ouija board out.
I'm going to bring a Ouija board down. Here we go. We're going to ask them.
And okay, so you can also say, okay, maybe they don't, maybe they exist in other places, like, but they can't be microwaves because, like, no, they couldn't, because if they're orbs and they're visible light, that would mean they have some sort of moisture to them, right? If they were microwaves, they would literally, you wouldn't have a cold feeling; they would be hot, right?
Yeah, but
because microwaves vibrate moisture.
Usually, these orbs you see are in photos.
Yeah,
you don't really see them IRL. Orbs.
Yeah, but people say that they do. It's just that they take pictures.
Well,
right?
they're just off their nut. Really, the only orbs I've seen is in pictures.
And I guess they could be radio waves, but like I don't know how that would work. And obviously they can't be ultraviolet because we'd be able to reveal them, right? And they can't be X-rays because they would literally irradiate you. And gamma rays would irradiate you even worse than that. And you'd be able to detect both of them quite easily. You'd definitely be able to detect gamma rays with the right equipment for sure.
Yeah.
And you'd know because you'd feel probably sick because they're very powerful beings. But anyway, so I don't see where anywhere on this spectrum ghosts can exist.
In the microwave?
No. If anything, they're cold, right? And I thought about this a little bit more because I'm just going to bore everyone's time a little bit more, right? I was looking into dark matter because I thought, okay then, but what about dark matter? Because that, although we can't conclusively prove it, right? It has to exist because there's so much in a galaxy. The matter alone, which is like 5% of a galaxy, wouldn't be able to hold it all together, wouldn't be cohesive. So all this empty space has to be something. So they call it dark matter. We're not able to trace it, we're not able to track it. We've not worked out any way to be able to detect it, but we know it has to exist because of all this unaccounted for weight that we can't, or mass, sorry, that we can't account for. So it has to be dark matter. So you could say that ghosts are dark matter. That's why you can't see them. And then, but what about the visible orbs at the same time? Because then is that then dipping into light? Maybe there's some sort of light that we don't understand in that. And I'll give you that, maybe. But on electromagnetic spectrum, when people getting their instruments out, I don't see a way. And that's why I said no. I thought about that.
Well,
it took me like 3 months, but I thought about it.
Is this like those times when you go in the shower and you think about an argument you had with someone, you go, why didn't I say that?
Yes, I get it all the time. But anyway, should we do this test? Let's do this. Now I've warmed up the brain a little bit, maybe.
There's no warming up my brain. Stone dead cold all the time.
All right. Hang on. Right. Okay, all right, I'm just going to do this.
Okay, let's go.
Right. I'm just going to say, just let me do it. If you disagree with it, I'm just going to move on because it's, because if you, do you know what? No, if you disagree with it, just tell me.
No, I'll wait until next podcast and I'll pull out a book.
That's fair. That's very okay. Number one.
Okay.
You're about to. By the way, there's an answer in this one that I just think was a bit of comedy. But number one, you're about to duel an opponent who is. Oh no, we didn't say what the houses were.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
No.
You want me to go? Okay.
Go.
So Gryffindor, I'm going to sum it up as being courage.
Yeah.
As its main focus, and that's the color red, isn't it? I'm not going to do the secondary colors. That's the color red. Ravenclaw is about intelligence.
Academic and other intelligence.
Yeah,
as well.
basically, where it puts like learning, then maybe would be a better way of putting it. And that's blue. And I think Gryffindor is a lion, Ravenclaw is an eagle. But I think early on it was meant to be like a crow or a raven, wasn't it? But it's an eagle now, isn't it? So we'll go with that. Hufflepuff is a badger and it's yellow.
It's about loyalty and kindness.
Yes, and getting on with people is the way I look at it. And Slytherin is, I'm going to say cunning.
Yeah.
And it's green and it's a snake. And it's mostly like kind of like noble houses, how I'm going to say to it, how people would understand it in the real world, like lords and stuff like that of the wizarding world. And they don't like people of bad blood.
Not always. There is Slytherins that aren't like that, but they tend to
There's
be.
a lot of that. Like, you wouldn't get someone from a noble family, as we'll call it, in like Hufflepuff.
Yeah, you can.
Well, it's unlikely.
Well,
though.
the Weasleys are a big, very big family.
Yeah,
Used
but
to be a very big noble family.
Well,
they were
yeah,
in Gryffindor.
yeah, okay. Well, anyway.
Also,
Fair
Lord
enough.
Voldemort was in Slytherin. He wasn't even a whole pure blood either.
That's true, but what I'm saying is they tend to go towards that one, is what we'll say. Okay, so I think that's. Oh no, you do your explanation. Are we happy with that?
We're happy with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that worked better than I thought it was going to. Okay.
I had to interject there a bit.
Oh, well, there
but,
we go.
You know.
All right, okay. I would go into like the founders of the houses, but I don't think people generally need to know that right now, do they?
No.
Okay, we'll just get on with it. Okay, number 1. This is an unofficial one, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
Number 1, you're about to duel an opponent who is superior to you. Do you give it everything you've got, study your opponent for weaknesses, surprise attack before the duel officially begins? Dueling isn't everything.
Dueling isn't everything.
That was the comedy answer.
No, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Why do we have to duel? Why not just poison their food and drink? It's much better.
Okay, well, hang on. Let me get the answer sheet.
Oh.
I'm not prepared. I need to hide it from you as well.
You are not prepared.
No, I'm not. No, hang on. If I can just keep everyone waiting, because I notoriously don't make edits on this podcast.
Oops.
Right, okay. Right, just hide that. Number 2.
Yeah.
You're offered to be taught an unforgivable curse.
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting for like the ethereal like music to come along. Do you A, decline, B, learn it in case of dire emergency, C, learn it for research purposes, D, learn it for offensive purposes?
I'd just decline.
Who would pick D, by the way? Yes, I want to hurt people.
Let's go.
All right, okay. Right. Number 3. Your favourite colour from this list. This is a bit of a curveball, actually. Your favourite colour from this list is A, silver, B, gold, C, maroon, or D, purple?
Purple.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh.
What?
Oh, I just get interested. That's why.
I love purple.
Right, okay.
Yeah, purple. I love purple.
If
blue.
it makes you feel better, I would have picked purple. That's probably why I sort of had that reaction. But you know, the little girlish sort of squeal that I did. All right, number 4. Your sibling is dying from an unknown illness.
Okay.
Now, there's a couple of answers here that sound the same, but they're minutely different and they make a lot of difference. Your sibling is dying from an unknown illness. Would you A, do everything possible to save them, B, attempt to find a cure, C, save them at all cost, D, be there for them always?
A.
Oh, that's interesting. Because there's A and C sound like the same answer.
Yeah, but I can see the difference between them.
At all cost is I will do anything.
I will do
everything possible is like, yeah, you know, within the realms of the law, you know.
Anything you say.
Oh no. Oh, I feel like it's ASMR now.
ASMR.
S-A-S. Oh, I can't speak.
ASMR.
ASMR.
Sound like an American Sign Language.
That's what it sounded like you were doing then. No? Okay, didn't you want to do a bit more of it?
No, I'm all right.
All right. Number 5. You find out that your friend has been breaking school rules and has lost 50 house points, which is quite a lot. Should you A, confront them directly, B, turn others against them, C, shun them, or D, distance yourself from the friendship? I told you there's not always a good answer. Because you're angry, but you're not going to make a good decision right now. This is a real test. Do you want it again?
I would distance myself slowly.
You would distance yourself slowly.
Slowly back away, because I'd be too much of a pussy to hurt their feelings. So I'd just like back away.
You don't want to turn others against them.
No.
Are you sure? You've got to take control, you know?
There's way too much effort.
All right, okay. Number 6. What is the least important trait? The least important
The least
trait.
important, okay.
A, bravery. B, loyalty. C, intelligence. D, charisma.
Bravery.
You say brave is the least important?
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting response. That's just me hiding it, by the way.
I'm looking at you. He's got this massive grin on his face, like, oh, I know something you don't.
That's because I do. What is the most important thing to be? A, the genius. B, the strongest. C, the social dynamo. D, the outcast.
The outcast.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting answer.
I've always been the outcast. I
Yeah?
love it. I wouldn't change it.
So you think that's the most important thing?
Oh, what? Are we talking about me or in general?
No, the thing that you think is most important. Not necessarily what you think you are. I mean, you might pick what you are because that's what you are, but if you had a chance or a choice, the thing that you think is the most important, if you could be any of them.
The social dynamo.
Okay.
Then.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just picking out I would be an outcast, but...
You saved yourself there a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I won't tell you why.
Oh, okay.
All right. 8. Your friend is under attack and in grave danger from a powerful enemy. Would you get between your friend and the enemy? B, use the environment to protect your friend or attack the enemy. Use a potion or charm to even the odds. D, use a disillusionment charm on yourself to prepare a deadly sneak attack.
I'd do the second one, B.
B, use the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Number 9. Hang on a minute. All right. Okay. Number 9. Muggles are curious experiments. B, the same as wizards, witches. C, sport. D, interesting and ingenious people.
B, and they're just the same as us. They just got no magic.
All right. Okay.
When we start sprouting extra limbs is when we become different.
That's true. Actually, I don't think you need the decider question, but well, do you know what? I'm going to run through the 2 questions anyway. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's not part of the test. That says, "Hi, I've seen you insured with Pet Plan." That's just the cat insurance.
Oh.
Okay, number 10. Decider question. Actually, it's not. I'm not going to lie to you. Your scores, I've already made up my mind. But we're going to add these 2 on because they're interesting and they separate people, I think, a little bit.
Okay.
Number 10. You find yourself very jealous of the people around you after going through a very tragic loss. How do you go forward? A, argue fiercely with those around you. B, plot against them. C, repress your pain and make passive-aggressive comments. D, blame your peers for not being good enough.
C, passive-aggressive.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you really don't need to decide on it, I don't think. Oh, you do this last one anyway. Okay, number 11, the final question. You are being pressured heavily to join the Death Eaters.
Okay.
Do you, A, refuse fiercely, B, learn as much about them as you can, potentially as a spy, C, join them, D, hide?
D is hide.
You choose hide?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would turn into a chair like Sloris Hughorn. Sloris Hughorn.
If you want to know this, when my wife took this, she wasn't very interested in the test. I'm not going to lie, because she's not exactly a fan, but she was level on Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff. and she picked hide and it put her into Hufflepuff.
Oh, really?
Just because she decided to hide, yeah. But would you like to know how you did?
How am I?
Okay, so with Gryffindor, you picked one answer. With Ravenclaw, you picked two answers. With Slytherin, you almost picked one answer, but you didn't. And with Hufflepuff, you picked 8. So
holy shit!
Quite overwhelmingly that. Yeah. There we go.
Hey.
So it's a good test, isn't it?
See, I came in saying I'm a Hufflepuff. I've done the Pottermore test. I've done all these tests. I'm a Hufflepuff through and through. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff's based.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
We're chill. We're loyal friends. We just want to chill with our plants.
Yeah, but sometimes you want to be more than that, you know?
No, I just want to be happy.
Sometimes I want to build, right, a subterranean chamber and just put a huge snake in it for no reason.
That can kill students.
Yeah,
why not?
In fact, it's designed to do so.
I just want to be happy and chill.
Would you like to do the test on me?
Okay, right. I fit actually no, because you made the test, but have you even done the test to yourself?
No. I mean, I must admit, I probably know the answers, but the point is, I've got to pick the one I'd most likely do, and I will.
Okay.
You can trust me on that. So that's the answer. Do you want to put this behind you here?
Mm-hmm. I will.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll do that. Okay.
Right. I think I know what's going to happen, but we'll see.
Okay.
We will see.
You are about to duel an opponent who is superior to you. Do you A, give it everything you've got, B, study your opponent for weaknesses, C, surprise attack before the duel officially begins, or dueling isn't everything?
Do you know what I would like to say? And this is the thing, when I play video games, right, I would like to say that I read all that. You know, like when you have a boss battle and you've got to work out how to beat it or something like that. And you've got to kind of study it and all the rest of it. And it's like, I wish I was that person, because then I would come in and be like, you know, but I'm not. To be absolutely honest, I just charge in. So it's got to be A. To be absolutely honest, I'm just like, yes. And then when I lose, I get really annoyed. And it's like, well, it's my own fault. So.
Okay.
All right.
Right. You are offered to be taught an unforgivable curse. Do you?
Hang on, wait a minute. You got to leave the ethereal. Got it.
A, decline. B, learn it in case of emergency. C, learn it for research purposes. Or D, learn it for offensive purposes.
Do you know, I find this one really hard between. I'm going to learn it. Like, there's no way I'm not going to. I'm not going to lie to you, but it's how I would do it. I would like to be able to say that I learn it, for, you know, in case of dire emergency. But I feel like I'd be lying. Is
that a D?
No, it's not a D.
Does it learn it for offensive purposes?
No, I think I would learn it to actually study it and like play with it and all the rest of it.
Okay.
But I think I would be, once I'm doing it for that reason, it's a bit of a fine line, isn't it? So I'm in C just about with that one. Just about.
Okay. I'm eyeing you suspiciously.
Well, it's for research purposes.
Yeah, for research purposes.
So
3, your favourite colour from this list is A, silver, B, gold, C, maroon, D, purple. I have a feeling.
It's going to be purple.
Purple.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, you've only got to look at the logo for this podcast, I think, to be honest, and it's just like overwhelmingly purple, isn't it?
I love blue, but blue was on the list. So purple was the closest.
Well, the thing is, if you look at that, I tried to pick the colours that were like secondary colours for each house, and I know Ravenclaw isn't purple, but...
It's silver.
Yeah, but the trouble is so Slytherin, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't pick both of them. So I had to pick one that was kind of close to blue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I ended up with.
Okay, 4. Your sibling is dying from an unknown illness. Would you do everything possible to save them, attempt to find a cure, save them at all costs, be there for them always?
Can I have the answers again? Think about it.
Would you do everything possible to save them?
Yeah.
Attempt to find a cure, save them at all costs, be there for them always?
I think personally, I would. I think I would. It's between A and B for me, but I think ultimately B would win out because I think in that mode you've got to put your feelings aside and make it work, haven't you?
Yeah.
So it's got to be that one.
Okay. Judgmental stare continues.
Hang on a minute, I just said Jordan.
Okay, you find out your friend has been breaking school rules and has lost 50 house points. Should you A, confront them directly, B, turn others against them, C, shun them, or distance yourself from the friendship?
So what was the first three again?
Confront them directly, turn others against them, or shun them.
See, I feel like I'd do all three, and I don't know. I know that sounds really bad, but I don't really know what I would do. I think ultimately, I would try and shun them, but I would also want to confront them at the same time. I've got to choose one, though, haven't I?
Yeah.
I think ultimately I'd confront them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I'd shun them at first, and then I'd be like, no, I'm really mad. So.
Okay. Right. What is the least important trait? Bravery, loyalty, intelligence, or charisma?
This is where people are going to hate me. No, I'm going to explain this answer. Right? No.
I'm side-eyeing you pretty hard right now.
No. The thing is, I don't think the least important trait is charisma, because I think if you ever watch like a teacher teach, there's a difference between a good teacher and a bad teacher, and it's ultimately not the thing they're teaching, it's how they're doing it. So I actually think that that's more important than people think, and it can be misused, but I think it's important. I think that bravery is important. So I can't do that one either. And what was the other two?
Intelligence or loyalty.
And I don't think intelligence is the least important either. And that's the problem. Because then I'm left with loyalty, and it's like, well, I don't think it's unimportant.
I think loyalty is the most important.
Yeah, but yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm a Hufflepuff.
But if that's all you have, I don't know. I'm not saying that towards you. I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't think it's. I think the least important out of those four it's got to be loyalty, hasn't it? I'm sorry. I just that's what I think. I think it's important, but not as important as some of those. There's some real serious differences opening up between us here, isn't there? Okay, right. Let's continue on.
Side eye. What is the most important thing to be? A, the genius, B, the strongest, C, the social dynamo, or D, the outcast?
I don't think it's the social dynamo. I disagree with you on this one, because I think that can become a bit hollow, if I'm honest. I know people that are really good at talking to people, and they're people that, when they're in a party, people like them, and those sorts of people. I think the problem with them is that there's usually a lot more going on, and they feel quite hollow from that. So I can't get on board with that. I also don't think the strongest, because I think when I wrote down the strongest, I think physical strongest. That's what I'm writing there, right? And I don't necessarily think that's the case. I don't think the outcast, because I just don't, I guess, really. You know what I mean?
You're going to say the genius.
No one wants to be Salazar Slytherin, hidden away in a chamber writing somewhere, really angry, right? So it's going to...
jerking himself off.
But with the genius, everything that you do, you can learn, right?
Yeah, but you'll also be the most annoying in the room.
That's about right. That's me then. You might as well take that. That's right, 100%.
You'd be a smart ass.
Yes, that's 100%.
Nobody likes a smart ass.
I know that. But they respect it. I feel like my wife, even though she's not here, has just rolled her eyes somewhere from hearing this distantly.
She knows, she can feel the energy. The
He's
forces.
doing it again.
Okay, right, let's go. Number 8. Your friend is under attack and in grave danger from a powerful enemy.
Ooh.
Would you get between your friend and the enemy? B. Use the environment to protect or attack your friend/enemy. C. Use a potion or charm to even the odds. Or D. Use a disillusionment charm on yourself to prepare a deadly sneak attack.
I won't lie to you. With B and C, they're answers that I would like to say because they're the smartest answers. But whenever I play a video game with this stuff, I always forget to use potions unless they're healing, right? And I always forget to use the environment entirely. So it's either going to be me rushing in there. I will say I do use sneak quite a lot on games, so it could be that one too. But if I really had to choose between them, my one main tactic is I run in because I'm the strongest person in that room. And it doesn't always pay off, so it's got to be A, isn't it?
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, muggles are curious experiments, the same as wizards/witches. Sport.
It's funny, that one, isn't it?
Interesting and ingenious people.
I think it might be the same answer as yours, actually, but I want to say interesting and genius because, and I see this from point of view of, if I was, let's say I was God for a moment, right? Right. So I'm God and I can do anything that I want at like whenever I want to do it. But when I do that, I have no understanding of how anything works because I can just make it work, right? Just by saying a word. A bit like, if you ever watched Star Trek, I don't know if anybody has, but where Q, and there's an episode in The Next Generation where he's lost his powers, but he's trying to explain to the engineer guy, oh, just do that. Just make the meteor move out the way and then it'll be fine. Like, but we can't do that. How do we do that? How do we make like a thing that makes that move? Oh, yeah, you just do it. And that's what I mean. Like, if I could do that, right, I wouldn't have any idea how things work. And I think the thing about muggles in that universe and that world that I think people like, what's his name? The Dad Weasley. Forgotten. George, I've forgotten his first name. How terrible. I have.
I'm leaving you hanging.
His Dad Weasley.
The Weasley dad.
The Weasley dad. Yes. You're not going to give me that?
No.
Oh, my
I'm not
God.
throwing you a bone.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Well, anyway, Mr. Weasley. Oh, what a way out. Mr. Weasley. He's like in the ministry, isn't he? And his office is like how muggle things work and like how enchanting them and all the rest of it.
What exactly is the function of a rubber duck?
Exactly. And he doesn't say that in the book, does he?
No.
Which is really strange. Anyway, I think that would be interesting for me because I would like to know, okay, fine, I can wave my wand and make electricity do something, but do I really know what electricity is? No, because I don't need to. So I feel like they'd be interesting in that way because you'd learn a lot from them in that way. So ultimately, I would have to pick D.
Okay.
I thought about that more than I probably should have, but...
Interesting.
And ingenious.
Ingenious.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Decider questions. Let's go.
Do I need them, do I?
Yes, you do.
Oh.
Oh. You find yourself very jealous of the people around you after going through a very tragic loss. How do you go forward? A. Argue fiercely with those around you. B. Plot against them. C. Repress your pain and make passive-aggressive comments. Or D. Blame your peers for not being good enough.
Now, I already know what I do here. I know my weakness on this one. I blame other people for not being good enough. And that sounds terrible, but that's a weakness that I know I have, so it's definitely D.
Well, the thing is, it's good to be aware of it.
I mean,
that's how you get over, isn't it? It's nothing to scoff at all.
Well, that's why I set that question up, because it's just like, you just got to accept it. There's no way out.
You are being pressured heavily to join the Death Eaters. Do you A. refuse fiercely? B. Learn as much about them as you can, potentially as a spy. C, join them, or D, hide?
Well, I wouldn't be able to be a spy. I would just have to refuse. Have I levelled it out?
Yes.
Oh, no. So we've got to have another question, which I haven't written out.
Okay.
Do you think you can come up with one on the spot?
I'm going to grab one from the Pottermore.
Okay, do it.
Okay.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun. Analyze each of the options and pick the options that will have the best outcome or the fewest drawbacks.
Oh, what's the difference with those two answers? I guess one's gut and one's more mental.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I always end up with my gut, so I have to pick that one.
Okay. So that is an answer of A and B. A and B. That's 1 point for this house, which is what you are. You are Gryffindor.
Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that.
It was a tie between Gryffindor or Ravenclaw.
I thought it might be. It's very tight, isn't it?
Yeah, it was very tight. So I just did that. A and B was Gryffindor. Okay. So it gave you 1 point to Gryffindor. But you did have one Slytherin.
Which one was that?
I can't remember what one that was. What question that was.
I think it was the loyalty one, was it?
Yeah, I think that was the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I struggled with that one, to be fair.
So yeah, you are a Gryffindor. Congratulations.
Gryffindor!
Gryffindor!
All right, cool. Well, now we both know.
Yeah.
You know?
So I was right all along.
Do I get to call you Mudblood? No.
No.
Your face dropped.
I was just thinking then, I was like, would it be a Mudblood?
Well, if you're in Hufflepuff, there's a likelihood that you would be.
Well, technically, my grandmother was a witch, so I'd say I'd be half-blood.
What do you mean she was a witch?
You know, the Wiccan witch. So if you translate that into Harry Potter terms, I'd be about half-blood.
Right, okay.
Mm.
Would you mind telling me a bit more about that? I'm always interested in that. Like, how did that come about? You know, like years ago.
I don't know. I can't ask her. She's dead. Shall I get my Ouija board out? I just mean, like, you know, in like the 1700s when they were like, burn the witch, burn the witches, and everyone now is like, oh, they weren't really witches. That was mad that people were doing that. And then you hear like stories of people like, oh yeah, we're part of that, and it's like, what? So those guys were right the whole time? It's like, it's different. It's not like Sabrina where you just go pew, power. It's more just like working with energies and deities and
more like a club or something.
It can be. It can be solitary as well. Like I do a lot of witch stuff solitary.
What you like? Is there like a pincushion of me that you just like have some of that?
No.
Oh, that's good.
Do you want that to be?
No. I guess that's more voodoo though, isn't it?
Yes.
That's more like Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
no, it's more like working with energy to try and achieve goals, like manifestation and stuff like that.
What's that?
So it's like you'll do a symbolic action or / like a ritual, which is basically just a bunch of actions.
Right. Okay.
That you do to try and attract what you want to happen to you. So, say I want a job as a hacker.
Yeah.
I would make a mood board with where I want to work and pictures of hacking. I'll start learning hacking, and I'll light a candle and be like, I'm the best hacker and I work at this place. And you're trying to bring it into being. You're trying to manifest it into your life.
Do you know, that's not too indifferent from like motivational speaking in a way.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of difference though, is there? So it's more like a mental sort of motivation kind of thing.
And I feel like people might kill me for this, but I feel like a lot of modern day witchcraft, I don't know back in the Salem days, but modern day witchcraft is basically just manifestation stuff, mainly.
Right. So you think that like years ago, when these people were like burning candles and all the rest of it, when people didn't really know so much, I can see why they burned them.
Well, it's like attracts like.
Right.
Like attracts like, as they say. Like before we used to go out for a hunt, you know, you'd like light a candle and like decapitate a wolf statue or something to try and bring good luck on your hunt. You know, it's just like doing that.
Right, yeah. It's really strange, isn't it?
I do have a book that does go into the history of where they think a lot of witchcraft comes from.
Sounds like just leftover pagan worship.
Yeah. That's what witchcraft is. It's basically paganism.
So there's no gods or anything like that then?
There is gods for people. I'm one of those that are more atheist.
Right.
Aimed towards more like just working with energies that I know.
Yeah, I don't want to go too off topic, but like I suppose you already have, but no. But like, you know, when you hear like really people that are really into the atheism, they're like, oh no, I laugh at that. There's no such thing as God and the rest of it. And then you get the feeling like their God is like the God of nothing. Like it's almost like that irony sort of thing, isn't it? And it's like
it becomes like a cult where they worship
nothing.
nothing.
I know. It's really strange.
Well, I say atheist. I say a more agonistic. What would you
Agnostic.
say? Agnostic. That was it. Yeah, where there could be something out there, but I don't know. So I'm not gonna worship something. I'm not gonna just say it's not there.
Well, it's like I've said before with things. It's like when there's laws of physics and laws of science, which there is, and they've all been written out. And I'm not saying they're never challenged or changed, but you really have to ask yourself if everything's so ordered like that in this galaxy at least, or perhaps beyond. Well, who organised it that way? I mean, it couldn't have just appeared that way, could it, as a constant? So I don't know. There's always there's more to it than people realise, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to jump to any conclusions because that's its own problem as well, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, this is why I like witchcraft, but I like working with like energies like nature because I know it's there. Nature, energy, sun, day, moon, night. You know.
Yeah.
It's stuff that I can work with.
Maybe you could, open up your own school.
School of witchcraft and wizardry.
You could just rip it off. You could just have like Raven. I don't know. Ravenclap.
Ravenclap. That does sound like an awesome STD.
Griffin done. Just rip it off.
Griffin done.
Sliverer.
Sliverer.
Hufflepun.
Hufflepun. I like Hufflepun.
Yeah.
Or Hufflepuffle.
Yeah, I feel like that would be too close. You might get sued.
Hufflepuffle.
Because you actually say on the word.
Actually, yeah, you've got a point.
But anyway, before we go to anyway, I think that's it, I suppose, isn't it, with the test, right?
I'm just glad to be right this time.
What do you mean?
I come in saying, I've said for a while now, I'm Hufflepuff, and you're looking at me like, we'll see. We'll see.
I've been doing that for a long time.
We'll see. And now I've officially confirmed my Hufflepuff prestige.
But did you find yourself, and I have to ask you this, did you know what I'm going to say, did you find yourself picking answers thinking it would be that house?
Do you know what?
Some of them are hard to tell.
Some of them I did think, I was like, oh, what would be the Hufflepuff one? But I could not. Yeah,
I tried to make it hard, so you did prove yourself there, to be honest.
Yeah, so I just went with what I would go for personally.
The thing I found really interesting about it is that I find it really interesting how people can just be so different. You know, I mean, look at me and you and the way we answered those questions. I don't think we really picked the same answer, did we?
No, we did for a couple.
Maybe one or two. But out of, 13, 15 questions, that's it's not a lot really, you know?
No. It does.
It's interesting, isn't it?
We are all different snowflakes drifting through the universe.
I don't know, some of those answers I gave, I wasn't a snowflake, I don't think. I don't know. Oh dear.
So what did everyone who's listening get?
That's a good point, actually, isn't it, to be honest? If they did the test. Should I post the test in the notes?
Do you what?
I could do that.
Yeah, write it up and post it when you publish.
I could put it in the show notes. Maybe,
yeah, that'd be awesome. Like that. Yeah, so people can do it along.
Yeah, no, that's a really good idea, actually.
Yeah.
It might be, it might catch an eye and become the official test.
Yeah. We're branching out, are we?
I'm just getting to myself a little bit now.
Coming for you, J.K. Rowling.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, why not? So I'll put that in the show notes, and you can do it whenever you want to do it, if you feel like it. You don't necessarily have to be a Harry Potter fan, I don't think. I think it helps.
Yeah.
But,
If you just want to do it's basically a personality test, like with a theme like Mr. Red said earlier.
Maybe we should do like a proper one, personality test, maybe.
Or we should do the Myers-Briggs one.
Yeah.
Proper delve deep into that.
I don't know. I'm revealing a lot about myself, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure I'm an ooh precious cinnamon bun snowflake.
What does that mean?
If I need a blanket wrapped around me because I'll stumble and break if anyone's mean to me.
Really?
I think so.
I think my wife got, I don't remember the actual letters, but she was a defender I think that's what they called it.
Defender.
Yeah, it's like she was like a nurse personality. I can see that.
Oh, I so see that.
She would have to be to put up with me, to be honest. to be absolutely
It took me a moment. I was like, what? Oh, yeah.
Anyone else would just be like, no, I'm getting out of here.
She's a full-time carer. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
No, it's true. All of it.
Cleans up my shit when I piss myself.
Not yet, anyway. Not yet.
She will do in the future.
In about 50 years, maybe, if we're still here. You know, still making this podcast 50 years' time. Episode 2000.
And I'll have like a different my 25th different name by then. Yeah.
Are you still LV today? You don't want to change it last minute?
Nah, mouthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell our listeners why you changed it, or
no?
I thought I'd give you the opportunity. Okay.
Let's just say I got called mummy a bit too much for my liking.
I don't understand that phenomenon. I've seen it quite a lot, and I don't go on the internet that much, but maybe not as much as yourself. But I don't understand that. What is it? Like, why are you calling them that? Like, not you, but why do people call them, like, women mummy?
I don't understand it. It could be a sexual thing. It could be like you seem like a very mummy personality, which I don't feel like I am. I'm not a motherly person.
Is it, and I don't want to say this, is it for women with, like, big breasts, do you think?
Well, how would
is
they
that
know? I was a VTuber.
I don't know. I'm just saying, is it that sort of a thing?
Or maybe it's like how women call men daddy. You'd go, it's like a male to girl. Like,
thing is,
mummy.
I'm not saying, like, I can kind of understand that one a bit more because it's like a dominant sort of like.
Maybe
thing.
it's.
But when it's like, is it like a reverse of that?
I don't know. I don't like it. It's scary, and I want it to stop.
I remember when you told me, and I just
Oh my God. So I completely changed my personality and VTuber.
Probably get people emailing now just calling you that, by the way. So just make sure.
Make a compilation.
Should we give them the email, by the way?
Go on then.
Are you sure? Do you want me to release it?
If they say mummy, then I'll make a compilation.
Yeah?
Yeah. Of people calling me mummy.
Okay, that sounds like something I want to make you live up to, but it's it's a drive me to your leader at gmail.com. It would be our own website, but I haven't made it yet, so it's gmail.com for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
So if you listen to this in like 2 years, because you know I don't always listen to podcast episodes in order myself, it might not be this email anymore. Yeah,
I listen to podcasts on shuffle. Makes it more exciting.
Like a mystery box.
You never know what you're going to get.
I tried explaining the mystery box to Dr. Monan, and we didn't agree on it. So, you know, never knowing what you're going to get is a good thing, right? Yeah. I needed that reassurance.
Yeah, it is.
He racked my confidence. I thought it was a sure thing. Then he started arguing against it. I was like, oh no.
No, it's good. The surprises are good. Even if they're bad, they're good because they surprise you.
Yeah, but like what I said.
Are you now going to debate against yourself? Your own point.
Here we go. Wait a minute. But what? Like this is the thing. I actually have. But what? No, hang on. What if it's like, as I said before, like a snake that just pops out and gets you, like, bang? What is? I mean, that's a really
for a fucking funny story.
Well, that's true, isn't it? Yeah.
So, it's a good surprise. It'll give me entertainment in the future.
Well,
surprise! Your family member's died. It's all right, because it gives me comedy material for the next 10 years.
I like the jazz hands as you said that. It's like, dead! Yeah! Well, I think on that note, maybe we should wrap it up because we've done the test and they're going to do the test in the show notes and, like, maybe.
Yeah, compare.
So, yeah, do you know what? You could be just Helena from now on, Helena Hufflepuff.
No, I'm not that lady.
No? Oh, right. That gives you that. Oh, was she a big girl, was she?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
She's a big, charming woman. Very charming.
She was a big-breasted woman. Is that how they say it now?
Big boobies.
Is that, was it?
Titties. She's got massive titties.
No, it's BBW is what I'm trying to say.
Big-breasted woman.
Is that right?
I guess so.
Is that how it's said? I don't know.
BBC. That's a TV show over in the UK. It's a
Yeah, that's not
company.
what you were referring to, though, was it?
Yes, it was.
oh, good.
What? The British Broadcast Channel?
I thought you were talking about Big Black Cock personally, right? And it would have been the first time that you talked about it if you go back to episode 1.
Excuse me? Get your mind out of the gutter, sir.
I'm going to end this episode before I get
Okay.
myself into more trouble than I already have. I've given an email. I'm just about a Gryffindor, but I don't know. Do you know what? I would have been a Ravenclaw, but I think what lets me down, and what's always let me down, is I've got the capability to think like that and have that mental sort of, I'm going to analyse it, but I'll get most of the way through it, and then my gut will take over. Just screw it,
Jump
just
in.
fuck it,
Fuck it, go.
And most of the time, it works in the moment. I'm able to just sort of, work
And
with it in the moment.
that is a very Gryffindor thing.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm able to use my brain in the moment, so it works.
Well, Gryffindors do too until their gut takes over and they jump on in
but I
like
would
a
be
nutter.
better if I just thought about it a little bit more.
Like if you think
You
about
know?
how Hermione's smart, you'd think she'd be in Ravenclaw, but in the last second she'll jump in and be brave.
Yeah, no, I see. Yeah, that's probably true. Maybe I'm the same as that then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
always knew I was destined for great things, Brian.
It's not slivering, huh?
Not Slytherin. No. Do you know what? I want to find someone who actually picks Slytherin because
A lot of people pick Slytherin, actually.
how though? Because every person I've done this test with, and I admit it's not very many, right, has been nowhere near picking Slytherin. Do I need to? I should go to
The
a
thing
prison
is-
and just find like I don't know, like
The
Charles
thing
Bronson
is-
or something.
People seem to think that Slytherin's evil. It's really not.
Well, it is.
No, it's
Well,
it's really not. They're
Well-
they're the most ambitious, cunning people.
yeah, but the symbol is a snake.
Yeah? Hufflepuff's a honey badger and they're fucking vicious. They'll
Yeah,
fuck you up.
But
Gryffindor's a
well,
lion. They could tear you limb from limb.
Yeah, but a snake.
Eagle could
throughout-
scratch your eyes
Yeah,
out.
but a snake throughout history has always been used in like a negative way, and there's good reason for that. Like,
No,
well,
snakes are amazing. Snakes are really good for the
okay,
ecosystem.
hang on a minute though. But how many giant basilisks were put in a chamber below the school by any other house?
He was just having a bad day. you
No,
know?
he gave it explicit instructions to kill people that he didn't like, that
Actually-
had bad blood, quote unquote. That was the
Actually-
founder of the house.
Actually, no, he didn't do that. Voldemort did that.
No, he carried on what already was there.
Maybe Salazar had some like troller there.
Maybe he had his reasons.
I'm just saying. Slytherin isn't. They're very ambitious, cunning people, and because a lot of them are what they call in the Harry Potter world purebloods, a lot of them do end up going to the extremist groups.
Yeah, but the thing is, I can get on board with cunning in a way, but if you mix that with ambition, I mean, you're going to have a person who's just really difficult, and they're going to do really bad things all the time.
No,
Well,
not at all. For example, Peter Pettigrew. He was a Gryffindor. He was a fucking asshole. He was evil.
yeah, but that's because he was a coward. He got put in the wrong house, really. Let's be honest,
he
you know
was
what I
in
mean?
Gryffindor.
Oh, wow.
Well, technically, he did kill himself, so he did the bravest thing out of there.
I haven't got that far in the book yet,
Oh.
but thanks for that. That's weird though, because in the movie, like he's in the Goblet of Fire, and I think he's in the 5th one, isn't he?
He's in the last Deathly Hallows as well.
Is he? I don't remember seeing him in the movie.
Yeah, he's in the movie too.
But it's not explained what happens to him.
Yeah, it is. It's shown.
In the movie?
Yeah. Shows
Maybe I
he
missed it.
strangles himself with his hand.
Part 1.
I think it was the end of part 1, yeah.
Do you know what? I'm not going to lie to you.
It's when Hermione was getting tortured and they had... Yeah,
Right,
so I'd say
yeah.
part 1.
I'm not going to lie. With Part 1, every time I've watched that movie, and I don't mean to, I've kind of turned off. It's a little bit dull.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was very dull.
And I get it, because in the book, it's just one book. But when you split to one movie, it's like, I usually just put Part 2 on and enjoy it. I know that sounds bad, but it's just better, isn't it? By a long way.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot better. But, yeah.
I know, I forgot about that. Right.
Yeah, because Peter Pettigrew was fucking evil. You had good people in Slytherin as well.
Can you name them?
Regulus Black.
Oh, yeah, kind of. Well, you're not wrong. I'm not going to lie to you, but yeah. No, okay.
Though, canonically, Hufflepuff is the house that has never produced a Dark Wizard.
Yeah, but they've not produced a lot of great ones either, have they?
Nope.
Oh, well, you know.
He discovered so many beasts that were undiscovered beforehand.
Yeah. Well, okay, right, yeah.
Yeah, take that back. You want to go Potter on me?
Yeah, but wasn't Dumbledore in Gryffindor?
I think
Supposedly,
so,
I don't think it's ever outright explicitly stated, is it?
Personally, I would have put Dumbledore into Ravenclaw.
No, I think I don't want to compare myself, but I think he's a little bit like me. Like, he thinks about things a lot, and by the time you come to the movies, obviously he's a lot more thinking about stuff because he's a lot older. But I feel like in his younger days, he probably would have been a bit more like, just do it. A bit more like gut feeling. You know what I mean? Maybe. No?
Yeah.
I don't know.
McGonagall's definitely a Gryffindor.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's wrap this up.
Otherwise, we'll be here for hours.
Exactly. So it's been nice having you come down today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for allowing me to prove that I was right all along.
I'm going to make another test.
This was like the first podcast that I think I could say I won my own point.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing points now, are we?
No, well, I'm just saying it's the first time I've said I'm a Hufflepuff and I've been right.
You know what? I'm going to make an unfair test next time. It's going to be a trick test. Okay, fine. No, I'll give you that. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks very much. Goodbye.